All right, so what's happening, folks? Today is July 13th. Just a quick update. Market has not closed yet, so this is my, update since I'm pretty much done trading for the day. But this is just what happened during my trading day. So I had a few different picks wrote down. First one we'll talk about here is Boeing. As y'all can see, I had an entry for a weekly put swing going to the downside, and then I also had a entry for a daily bounce if by any chance we got that. So going back to my last video, I talked about having a game plan and then also having a plan B. So in this case, I put down a plan A, which was actually this weekly, and then the plan B, which was the daily bounce. So if I look at the weekly here, if y'all look and notice, I had a 3 candle, then I had a 2. So from a weekly standpoint, once it breaks this mark here, our target should be down here. So that's what I marked out. On the daily end, I had a bit of a hammer here, so I was like, okay, it's a possibility that we might get a little bit of bounce on the daily, and we start back ticking upwards. That was my 2 possibilities. Like I said, a plan A, which will be the weekly, because obviously all the time frames are downward trending. So that was the plan A. Plan B was to maybe catch this, take it up a little bit, and then get off of it within the day. So with that being said, with this one, I ended up right here. I put already logged it in, but on this one here, I ended up getting in at where is it at? Oh, it doesn't show it here. So I ended up getting in at 56 cents, and I exited at 66 cents. So I'm sorry. I ended up getting in at $2.50 and exiting at $3.30. At the highest, it got up to like $3.75, I believe it was. And although I didn't have a hard stop loss set, I did have a mental stop loss set. And as y'all can see when I go back to it, if I go to the hourly chart, so on the hourly, it pretty much came down, it came back up. And it kind of, like I said, it kind of hit my mental stop loss. Even though this was a weekly trade, I still looked at it as like, hey, because I'd only set the time frame out to this upcoming Friday, which I should have done it for 2 weeks out. But either way, I decided to play it safe since I did only set it out till Friday. And I was like, hey, today is Monday. A lot of people are going to hop in this possibly. And now they're going to be looking at closing their trades. This is more towards the end of the trading day. And it's a possibility that it could come back up. And then tomorrow I have a shorter time frame and I'm having to make up more ground. So even though, like I said, it was a weekly play, I still decided to go ahead and cut it off a little bit short, just based on the time frame I had. I would rather personally, for my tolerance for on this, I would rather play it safe than sorry, because obviously I'm a new trader. So when I get in good, have a decent bit of profit, I want to go ahead and see that green, because that's boosting the confidence for me. Later on, maybe I'll kind of up my tolerance for losses and wins, and I might play it a little bit more quote unquote dangerously. But for now, I wanted to see that green. So going back, I ended up getting a 32% gain. So phenomenal for me and where I'm at. So I'll take that any day. So the next play was SoFi. Let me go over to SoFi here and show y'all. So SoFi, the note that I put down, daily reverse hammer. So when you look at the daily, so this here, it's not quite a hammer, but I still took it as hammer potential, because as y'all can see, it went higher and then sellers started coming in hard and bringing it down. So I still counted it as a hammer. Some people may not. When you got to think about it, this here is a small value stock. So even though this line looks long, it's really not as long as you perceive it to be. But anyways, like I said, I put that down as a daily reverse hammer. Here's my notes. I started doing this to make it a little bit easier to stay on the same page with my thought process from the previous day going to the next day. I started putting a note of what I saw. And then as y'all see here, it came and started coming back down slowly but surely. Let's go to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, I saw it come down and break. Cool. I entered in at 56 cents. It got down to as low as I think 50 cents, maybe about 49 once it got back above my entry point. And I honestly thought about doubling down and buying a couple more contracts because I kind of knew in the back of my head, we can bump it down again to the 15 minute. I kind of knew in the back of my head, oh, now that it's under, it's already broke the support level. Now it should come back up and then bounce off the new ceiling. That was my thought process. But today, like I said, was about increasing or getting a higher percentage gain. So I didn't want to risk getting myself lower in the hole potentially. So I just stuck with what I had. And like I said, we ended up riding it from 56 cents to 66 cents, which isn't bad. 17%, 20%. If you can do 20% plus consistently, I'm no expert, but that's a nice gain. Once your portfolio is a bit higher, then percentages matter a lot. If you're playing, quote unquote, $1,000 hands, and every trade you put in is $1,000, and you can consistently be getting 20% wins out of that as your average, you'll be doing phenomenal. That's $200 off of every single trade, if not more. So like I said, I ended up going ahead, selling it. And I literally sold right at the bottom. I think this got up to like 67, 68 cents at the very most. But I went ahead and sold. Reason being, and I didn't try to go ahead and write it out, is the same thing. Like, I'm not trying to be greedy. When I was looking at this, I'm just like, okay, it's getting close to my set point. I did not put a second target on this because the second target wasn't very well defined. So I just went ahead and went with it, and took what it gave me. With that being said, keep in mind, once again, my note here, this is a daily reverse hammer. This wasn't on the weekly, so I didn't have any more time frame in the candle I was reading. This wasn't on the hourly, this was on the daily. So in the sense of trading, during a trading day, what happens is people come in right at the beginning of the day. Everybody's putting in their orders, putting in their moves, making it shake. Throughout the day, you kind of calm down. Everybody's orders in. The market trends the way it's going to trend, which is what you see here. This was kind of the shakeup in the beginning part of the day. So 15 minute, 30 minute, 45 minutes. Right here, we're 1 hour in. And then you see it starts trending in the direction for the day. But then right around here, I'm in Arizona, so it's still early. So it's a little bit of a mental game for me, trying to keep track of the times in New York. But I went ahead and dipped out here because, like I said, this is a daily trade. I knew there was a good possibility that around this time, people are going to start selling off. All the other day traders are going to start selling off and getting out of their position. So it's likely that this price will start from going on a downtrend to possibly going into an uptrend. So I went ahead and, me having a backup plan for my plan, that was my thought process. So I went ahead and sold. And, we made some money on that. Real small trade, only put in $225, made $40. I'll call it a good day. So what else we got popping off? So two things that are going to be on the weekly time frame that I'm kind of just letting play out. So we have Iron Limited. This is where we pretty much at. On this one, they had a weekly. I don't know why I forgot to put I put it down here at the bottom. So weekly put swing 2-1 down. So when I look, I'm on the weekly. So this is my 2, cool. This is my 1, cool. Once it broke below here, that's when I entered. So great, that's for a weekly trade. All the time frames are pointing downward, so I'm right heading the direction that it's expected to go. If you zoom out and you look at it, it's pretty much been on a downward trend for a little bit. You got a high, you got a low, a lower high, a lower low. And then it kind of broke out just a little bit. But overall, it's still coming downwards. So I was like, all right, I can deal with that. I can rock with it. Let's go ahead and move. Of course, it's already down on the month. It was already down last week. So I'm just going with the trend that's already been set. That was my thought process on this one. And so far it's doing decent. So we're gonna keep riding with it. It's almost to my first target already. Even though it's a weekly play, maybe I'll stay in, maybe I'll get out. I'll figure out here before the day is out. We'll see how it plays. But yeah, that was pretty much was my thought process on here with Iran. The last one I'm gonna show y'all is another weekly play that I'm in currently, and that's gonna be T. So with T, it had a 2-1 weekly downtrend, but me having a backup plan. As y'all see, let me back out here. So although it's on the downtrend, it's also been. Let me get my thoughts together. So although it's on a downtrend, it's also touching the bottom of this broadening. That's what that second line is. Possible broadening bottom on weekly. So it's also touching the bottom of this broadening triangle or broadening formation. I'm sorry. So my thought process on that is, hey, it already touched. Actually went a little bit low, and then it already had bounced. So this was my entry point to see if it'll work its way back up. Today, it honestly has not done anything. I might even end up closing this out because if I go into tomorrow, it's pretty much going to put me behind on the DK value, the theta. So I might even go ahead and close it out because it literally has not done anything. But I am still currently in it. We'll see what I do here shortly. But like I said, that's my plays for today. As y'all see, I'm trying to implement what I learned last week, which is always have a game plan and stick to it, but then also have a plan B just in case it does not go the direction you think. So I'm trying to apply everything I learned in previous days on the next day and see if we can get better at this. My personal goal is not to get rich off of trading. My personal goal is to have continuous growth. If I can have continuous growth, the money will come. You have to think about it like this. Say, for example, you start out with $1,000. If you blow through that $1,000 in the course of 2-3 weeks, then you already out of the game. Like you pretty much starting back over. You're hitting the restart button completely. But if you have $1,000 and you can every day make 50, eventually making 50 every day will get you to 2,000. So cool. Now you still in the game. You still rolling. So now those trades you were making, since your portfolio is twice as big, the trades you were making to make $50 a day, you can now up those trades and continue doing what you're doing, but instead of making 50, now you're making 100. So now you go from 2,000 to 3,000 faster than you went from 1,000 to 2,000. It's exponential growth. So now you're making $100 a day on average. And then you keep going from there. Your trades get a little bit bigger because your portfolio gets a little bit bigger. That's just an example. I'm personally not using my full portfolio as of yet. As far as the money I have available in my account, I've only been trading today. All these trades were under $500. And usually $500, I try to make every trade at 500. But today I did a lot of trades right at about 250. 300 maybe at the most, and I just let it go with that, because if the percentage is coming up, then I don't need to risk as much. Yes, the risk is nice because I get a larger reward in the end, but like I said, my focus for this week is getting a higher percentage gain. That's been my focus for the week. So yeah, like I said, every day the goal is to get a little bit better, catch on to a few more things, make it become natural. I'm still having a little bit of, I guess you can say, jitters in the morning when I hop on, because it's a little bit of nervousness as far as what exactly is going to happen with the plays I picked, how everything is going to go. Everything's still moving a bit faster. But now that I know that I'm getting this, I know kind of what to do to calm myself down. The first thing that I've been doing is I don't hop in anything immediately. I might hop into my first trade maybe like 20 to 30 minutes in. If I see something, I'm like, okay, yeah, this was one of the ones I thought could do really good. So I might hop into that first trade, like I said, about 20 to 30 minutes in. And then at that point, I still have a little bit of jitters as far as which direction everything is going to play out. But then I always have to mentally remind myself and look back at the charts. Like, okay, if I'm looking at the 15, let me back out to the hourly. If I'm looking at the hourly, let me back out to the daily, so on and so forth. Because then it puts that perspective in motion. Like, okay, you were looking at this on a daily time frame, so don't take a 15-minute candle as the truth. Go back to the daily. If it's still following what you saw, what you see, then stick with it. If you see that it's deviating, or if you see that it hasn't had time to really make a decision, calm down. I always put on my music and just let it play through and give myself a little bit of time. And I just see what happens. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I'm starting to come to that realization and become cool with it. So, I'm going to keep going with it. Like I said, every day the goal is to get a little bit better. But I appreciate you guys getting better with me. It's your guy Mo signing out once again. Quick update. The Contracts app. Of course, you can access it on PC at contracts.app, but the actual app for Google Play Store has been submitted. So it should probably be up, fully implemented on the Play Store within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm super excited about that. So check it out once it hops on the Play Store. I'll keep y'all updated on it. Once again, it's your guy Mo signing out. Peace.